Okay, welcome back to another video, and this will be the update for March. It's been probably around 2 months since I did the last one, so early January, and it's probably around 2 months before that when I did the last one, so maybe this will be a bi-monthly series, maybe not, who can tell. So what have I been up to the last couple of months? Bits and pieces. You could probably tell from the last video that I've had pretty bad cold the last couple of weeks, which fortunately, is starting to disappear. So I can breathe properly now, which is kind of useful. So what have I been up to? So if I start with what I've been playing. So as you can tell, PS3. So I'm clutching onto this last generation, which will make itself, apparent later on, because I've got some questions to answer. So the games I've been playing are mainly the Last of Us. I've really been enjoying that. You're probably familiar with what that game is. Really nice game from Naughty Dog, who made Uncharted, and they really know how to program that machine. The graphics are really impressive, but just the whole environment and the lighting on it, the story, fantastic game. I don't know how long it is. I've been playing it probably around 10-12 hours, so I feel like I'm probably about a third of the way through, maybe halfway, but I've been enjoying it. And the game that I've played before that was October, was Alien Isolation, and today I did a first. I bought a season pass. Yeah, not sure what to expect, so I was aware that there were some add-on packs, because the game has the main game in the survivor mode, and the survivor mode just has one map, and I thought, oh, that's a bit odd, but the mission packs expand on that, and I was about to buy one of them last night, and then it just occurred to me, would it be cheaper with the season pass? Because the last part 5, came out today, and I thought, I'll wait and see. And I had a look around online. You can't get the season pass from the PlayStation Network. You've got to buy it from Game. So I bought it from Game today, and then logged on and used it, and you get all 5 episodes for £20, which is probably saving me about a £5 if I bought them all separately. And the last one is out. So yeah, really great game. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it outstayed its welcome. I think it was long enough, but I wanted more. So yeah, this is a good thing. I know there's a bit of controversy about add-on packs and whether things should be bundled in the original game. I thought this game was long enough as it was, and these are add-on packs that are made after the fact, and I'm hoping they're as enjoyable as the original game. So yeah, so sticking to the PS3 for the moment. So, Infected Flinch has proposed some questions. Just hit a key to stop it going on screensaver. And yeah, 5 questions. I've also been tagged by Mark for the same set of questions, so I'll answer them now. So the first one is, do you struggle to buy games? So I'll split this into two parts. It's all about value. So with new games, I don't buy them very often. The last new game that I bought was this, and I paid, I think it was £32 from Asda in October. And I'd been looking forward to that game for a long time, and it was one of the rare cases that I bought it launch day for, I thought it was a reasonable price for what I got out of it. However, there are games that are about £50, and I don't think that's good value. I think it depends on the game. So usually I tend to wait until games are about 20 quid, because often, and I've got caught out by this in the past, I've bought games and they've sat on the shelf. So if a game comes out and I know I'm going to play it there and then I will buy it new, but that's very, very rare. For retro games, I don't necessarily struggle for something that I see as a bargain. I do struggle with ones that are priced the same as new games, mainly because I'm a bit of a cheap ass, and I know that the value of games when they came out 20 years ago, 25 years ago, obviously started high, then they went down and down and down and down around, you know, the late 90s, 2000, and I remember what those prices were at that point, so they're always in my mind that the game has been cheaper in the past, so I won't pay a lot of money for it. Although, even though it's now classed as a, you know, games are antique collector's items, so their prices will go up because they're not being manufactured anymore. But I can't get that out of my head when I'm buying games, so if I see something that's expensive, I won't buy it because I think it's not worth it. But probably if it was a new game, I might think it's worth it, if that makes sense. So something like PS Solar, I think is good value because it's a rare, I won't say one-off item, but they only print a few hundred. So yeah, so I don't struggle to buy games. I just maybe agonise over too much about whether they're good value for money or not. So trade regrets. I haven't traded things for quite a while. Probably the only thing recently is a load of Xbox 360 games. I was going to get rid of the console because I hardly use it, but there are a few games on there that I want to keep, and for the amount of money I'd get for the console, it's better just keeping it around and just playing it for the odd game here and there. However, probably the first machine I ever traded was the Master System, and I've gone into this so I won't go over it again, and I got the Mega Drive and traded that in eventually for a SNES. Now, I used to trade a lot of Mega Drive games in at the market, and the ones I had at the end were probably not so good, and at that point I was happy to trade it and go for something different, and I was going to go for a 3DO, and then I realised how much they cost after I'd sold the Mega Drive. That was pretty stupid. But I got a SNES. Now, I don't regret selling the Mega Drive. I think I'd had my fill of it at the time, and a lot of the games that I've got now are not the games that I had back then. So I had some pretty crappy games at the end. But with the SNES, I really enjoyed it. Metroid, or Super Metroid rather, the Mario Kart, Mario World, Yoshi's Island, a whole bunch of other really great games. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm not going to move on to the next generation when the PS1 and the Saturn came out, because there are a load of really good games that I still want to play. Very much as I am now with, you know, the PS3. But I saw a few games and I thought, no, I really need to move on. And I traded in the whole set for a Saturn and one disc. I should have pulled it out of the drawer. It's the game sampler. I think they call it the bootleg sampler, with all the games in letterboxes. And yeah, I traded the whole lot in for a Saturn. So I traded the Mega Drive and all the games for a SNES with a smaller library of games, and then traded that in again, you know, a year later for a Saturn. And I look back now and I think, that wasn't a good trade. I like the Saturn, and I mentioned on the previous video, there's probably a handful of games that I really enjoyed. I'm just looking now. There's like Fighters Megamix, Exhumed, Burning Rangers, even the games like Resident Evil, which, you know, were ports. Virtual Fighter, Sonic Jam, you know, the Street Fighter Alpha 2, there are some really good games on it, but I don't think they're as good as the games I had on the SNES. So yeah, which I think might have influenced where I am with the PS3 and the PS4. I'm not gonna sell the PS3 to get a PS4. You know, there are a lot of games, but I'm holding off. I think I don't want to jump too quickly. I've still got a lot of games that I want to play, and, you know, going back to point one, struggling to buy things, I've got too many games. So, you know, I'll have to maybe think about thinning the collection down a little bit. I'm a terrible pack rat, so yeah, I'll probably have to get rid of some at some point, but there you go. playing games again. So the question was, if you could have your mind wiped, are there any games that you want to play from scratch? Yeah, Snatcher. I loved that game. I don't own it, at least not a kosher copy. The game that I saw, well, I saw the game in Game Station about 12 years ago. It was about 25 quid, and I looked at it and I thought, nah, not bother, like an idiot. And it had gone the next day when I went back. Yeah, that's a regret. Fantastic game, the ending's fantastic as well. Not a very long game either. So the other one would be Secret of Monkey Island. I played that a long time ago, and I preferred that one out of all the games. And I just think experiencing the island again, because you go back and in various forms later on, but the magic was never the same, and it was never, even playing the first game, it was never the same as when you first set foot on Monkey Island itself. Fantastic story, and just struggling through with it, so rewarding. But there are probably other games as well, but those are the two I can think of. So, console to be buried with, I think I mentioned this before. This was mentioned at the Amiga user group that I'm part of, and it was the Amiga. However, what I'm a bit concerned with is the lifespan of consoles, because, you know, living long and prospering, you know, by the time we're in our 80s, hopefully, I think the consoles probably won't work, and the computers probably won't be working at that point, and that kind of bothers me a little bit, because it's nice to use the original hardware, but a lot of machines have got capacitors that are, you know, not melting, but leaking. That's possible to fix, but I think once we start getting bit rot on the ROMs, that's it. We're knackered. So far, I don't think it's happened on the Atari 2600, but I think once that starts, and we know that the lifespan of the ROMs, I think that's going to make collecting very different. It's going to change the market quite a lot, because games will become suddenly more valuable, and they might not all decay at the same rate. Thinking of laserdiscs with different manufacturers having, you know, disc rot or laser rot at, you know, different rates, but we'll see with that. So that, yeah, so the short answer is Amiga. So what else? Some pickups. A pickup video from Dave. Shock. Yeah, so the Leeds Market was really the last major event. I didn't really cover it, other than I think mentioning I went with T-Rex Space Station, and we had a really good day and got some really good bargains, you know, both of us. And yeah, so the games that I got with these, I took 50 quid and spent it. So reverse chronology, I got Ray Tracer. So this is a game that I've had the box of for years. It was one of the first PlayStation games I got to emulate, because I played this at a friend's house. I played the originals on the arcade, but this felt different, and really enjoyed it. Slightly more realism, but the shop that I bought it from put the wrong disc in, and it was the original Ridge Racer. So yeah, so I finally get to play that. I played it a little bit and quite enjoyed it. So for the Mega Drive games, I got, again on the Naughty Dog kick, Rings of Power, which is an RPG, so it's isometric RPG. Not normally a fan of isometric games, but with the Naughty Dog pedigree, I was watching a documentary, and you know they looked at this a little bit, and it looked quite good, so I thought I'll get hold of that. So the other two here are Electronic Arts games. I think this is a European game as well. So I've been on a bit of a Euro kick with Psygnosis. Oh, hello Joey. Do you want to be on camera? See, when I got him, he jumped down. So he doesn't talk. Yeah. Yeah, he's a bit of a Mega Drive fan. Yeah. So, you be good. So, Risky Woods, which graphically very Psygnosis style. It says here that it's made by Zoosoft. So yeah, not a Psygnosis game, but it's that style, that kind of Euro platformer. And probably the other game I can think of is Legend of Galahad that I got recently, also an EA game. And this other one is Fatal Rewind, which is the killing game show from the Amiga. So I've got quite a few games on the Mega Drive that are Amiga ports, and I really should do a video on these at some point. I've got a list of talkie videos, and this is one of them, and just looking at Amiga conversions on the Mega Drive, which for the most part are pretty good. Lemmings is a really good conversion. So I got Micro Machines Military, or rather I didn't. So that's the box, and I got this for £3, and I thought, this is really good. And it comes with the, you know, the J-cart, which lets you plug 2 extra controllers in. And I got, you know, I opened it up, and, you know, the label's knackered. And then it hit me. I haven't turned this on yet, but it's not the J-cart. It's the original Micro Machines. So, so I've got a box. So what I might do is see if I can locate, you know, a loose cart for this, and then I'll have the game, and I'll have a cartridge for the original Micro Machines, which I assume works. Oh, he likes that game too. Right, so the last two are Japanese Mega Drive games. So this one is Devil's Crash, and this is a game that I've been after for quite a while. It's a pinball game. Been trying to get this either on the Mega Drive or the PC Engine. You've been fed. Oh, you want some love and attention, don't you? You're going to headbutt? Yeah. So they had this on a shelf, on a kind of a raised shelf behind the stall, and the price said there was a symbol and then a one. Yeah, a kind of, what was it? It was a 9. It was a 9. That was it. Something in a 9. And I thought, what's this? 19, 29, 49. And I'd been trying to get this off eBay, and I wanted to pay about £15 for it, so no more than 20 with postage. And he said, no, it's 9. And I thought, okay, can I have a look at it? And it, you know, it doesn't have the manual. It's just cart only, but you know, for £9 for the game, the box was a little bit tatty. But I've got World Cup Italia 90 on Japanese copy, and yeah, I just swapped it for that. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing this. I'll have to do a video. Right, so the next one is in the Nobunaga series. So again, more Japanese strategy. What? Yeah. Lots of kanji text, but yeah, this was, you know, boxed complete with all the booklets and things. Yeah, so I think this was from, he's going to knock those over, from Console Passion. I really enjoyed looking at the Japanese games. You've been fed. Yeah, actually I've got the Alien Isolation add-ons downloading, so it's probably been very good, and it's telling me that they've downloaded, and that shouldn't leave the PS3 running downstairs unattended because it's wasting power. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I think... What? Alright, I think I'll leave it there. So yeah, quite a few games to play this month. So the question is, do I find it difficult to buy games? No. Do I find difficult to buy games where I think I'm getting maybe ripped off? Yes. But yeah, too many games, probably have to think about clearing the collection out. Oh, and there was one more. Oh, where's it gone? It's hiding. There we go. Yeah, I ordered a box of games from eBay. This was a bundle of PS2 games, so a lot of them I've got already. A few of them I haven't. But the game that was in there and it was quite a cheap bundle, was Project 03, which is Fatal Frame in the US. And the Japanese copy has got a slightly different name as well. But I've been looking for this for a while, and it goes for between £25 to £45, and I really enjoyed the second game. The first one's really good as well, but I particularly enjoyed the second one. I've been after this one for quite a while. It was quite a recent release, so yeah, I might maybe do a video or a series or something on these games too. So yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better. I might do some more Dreamcast videos soon, because I've been improving the engine and just making the environment better, so there are boxes and, you know, bits of debris in the levels, and each bit will also cast shadows. So yeah, that's all going really well, and I'm just working on the outside like terrain parts. So you've probably seen the earlier videos. Probably about a year ago, I had like a terrain engine. Well, that's all part of the same thing. It's just being selective about what you draw, because you don't want to draw too much of the terrain when you're inside, but you've got to be careful at the doorways, because you're drawing terrain and you're drawing the indoor world, and you don't want the frame rate to take too much of a hit. And there's a whole bunch of lighting, so you've got like realistic moonlighting, but you don't have to light the world as quick, because the moon's moving so slow. You only have to maybe light it once every, you know, it could be every 60 seconds. It doesn't have to be every frame. So there's a lot more leeway if the lighting's a bit slow and that. But yeah, I'll have to do a video. It's coming along quite well. I'm getting the evils here, so I think I'm going to have to leave it there. So thanks very much for watching. So goodbye from me, and goodbye from him. Look. No. Right. Bye-bye.